Hello and welcome to another weekly reading. It's Cindy from Cindy's Rainbow Wisdom, and there are lots of hearts in this reading and some Northern Escape, which is really a blend to help us breathe deeply and get grounded. And really, this week is kind of a recalibration of some of the things that have come and a preparation for some of the things to come, more than there are any big shocking things happening within the week. But we are building towards the full moon in Leo, which is on Sunday. Also, at that point, Mercury will just about be out of his retrograde, not quite, but just about. And coming into this week, we've just had the moon crossing over and triggering Uranus on Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember without looking on my computer now, and we'll be meeting up on Monday for us this week. Moon is meeting up with Mars, who is finally getting a little bit of traction in Gemini to move forward, but still will be in retrograde till about the middle of next month. So pick a card between 1 and 4 to get your personal kind of focal point for the week. But of course, the whole reading is relevant for whoever is here watching it. That's how these collective readings work. They work for whoever finds them, and in fact, whenever you find them, even if it is outside of the week that they were meant for, there will be something in there for you. So always trust when you're working with these kind of energies that things find you when they should. So let's just jump into looking at the whole reading quickly. And as you can see, we've only got one upside down card, although the Hanged Man has the impression of being upside down. And we've got swords cards flanking the reading. And swords is our mental process. And I think that makes it interesting too that we're nearing the end. This week is getting us almost to the end of the post-shadow of Mercury, our thinkings, retrograde process. So we start the week, we start the reading. It's not necessarily that's how we start the week, but we start the reading with feelings of anxiety and a little bit like stuck in the nightmare. You can see that she's not really looking with her physical eyes, but there's the sense of the bed rest behind her and the pillow beside her, and something nightmarish. And whether that is literal nightmares that one may be experiencing, or whether it is feeling as if you're stuck in some kind of a nightmare, or your anxieties and fears are feeding that feeling, there is the promise at the top here of light coming in to expel the darkness. But from her perspective and vantage point, obviously she's not even looking. But if she were to look up at first, she wouldn't even see the light. She would just see the darkness. And sometimes we've got to kind of figure out how to move through that shadow, fear, anxiety, etc., towards the light. And in some ways, that's a little bit what happens to us in retrogrades, is that it makes us go back and look at the stuff we didn't really want to look at properly. And then on the way forward, we might go, oh, I thought I was done with this, but we need to make our way through it to come into the sort of solution zone. And then the second card is the Seven of Wands, and this is our upside down card. But can you see how the Nine of Swords, even though she's not looking, her energetic directional push is into the next card. And with this card upside down, it actually, if it was the right way up, let me just turn it for a moment. If it was the right way up, she would be looking back at the nightmarish situation and finding her center to avoid this space. Upside down, maybe we haven't quite been calibrating, but it is leading us into the Hanged Man card, which I actually quite like for us. But basically, these wands here at the bottom of this card, well, in this case, it's at the top, but it's the bottom of the card, are attached to people. You can imagine them that way. Somebody is coming in with the attack. And this woman in her bubble and in her Zen and holding her personal power center, the third chakra there, is kind of, and that's the fire chakra, in fact, and this is a fire energy wands. She's kind of able to hold her center in spite of what's going on an outside attack. But when it's upside down, it's a caution to maybe check in that you are doing that energetic housekeeping and securing the boundary lines, and be mindful of who you let into your space, not energy sappers and suckers, but rather energy fuelers and builders and supporters. Not everybody has to give you energy, but you certainly don't want people sucking the life out of you. And so if you're already stuck in this nightmarish, overwhelm, anxiety, Nine of Swords space, and you go into situations with that type of vulnerability to the wrong people, then the Seven of Wands cards leaves you even more vulnerable. But if you manage your energy when you're in the Nine of Swords, oh, sorry, can't see where I'm touching. If you manage your energy in Nine of Swords and you don't take yourself into environments as far as possible that are draining, more draining and difficult for you, then you will do better. But ideally, you want to come into the Seven of Wands and you want to say to yourself, how can I manage my energetic levels, and how can I keep my, basically like your aura as a protective shield? Not that you don't let anything in, but you don't let yourself be too drained, and you are safe and secure within that, even when there is attack coming through. And then we come to the Hanged Man, and I actually really love this card, and it was a very big part of my this time last year energy. It's an absolute surrendering energy. And in a traditional tarot, it's kind of literally just a person hanging by a foot upside down. But in this one, there's this beautiful open bend, like a yoga pose, where she is opening all of the front of her chakras, including her heart. And the heart is very important this week. Why I have crystal hearts everywhere is because Leo rules the heart, and we're heading to Leo full moon on Sunday. So this ability to feel the fear, the anxiety, feel a little bit disrupted in how do I keep myself secure in that, and in spite of card 1 and 2, you just surrender. Trust, drop in, open up your energy and say, this is me vulnerable, this is me raw, this is me fearful, this is me, whatever me is showing up right now. And if my tears or my loud laughter or my crassness makes you uncomfortable, you know, I'm unapologetically me, and I'm in the state of trust that whatever will be, and I am held. See how she is held by that hammock as she drops backwards and opens herself so brilliantly. And in this, the light is also actually embodying down into the earth, which I really love, because we tend to societally have this idea of raising our frequency, raising our energy, elevating up. Even in our school system, we go up through the grades. That is kind of how we project ourselves, but we forget that it's so important as we gain knowledge. If we want to convert it into wisdom, we need to bring it back down into our bodies, back down into the earth. And this card is doing that. Fearful, maybe, unsure, maybe, but she's just in absolute trust. And then that leads us to the Four of Swords, which actually does have a heart in this reading, and I love that. So this is again air, and we started with air, but we started with air a later part of the Swords journey, quite frankly, because that's a 9 and this is a 4. But we started with the fear in air, and we reached the point of rest, deep rest. And if you consider all those anxieties, it's like the first card wasn't allowing us to sleep well because our fears were creating nightmares and anxieties. Whereas in this card, it's a nod to saying, okay, you've felt them, you've felt the fear and done it anyway, you've checked in with your energetic boundaries, you have surrendered in absolute trust and opened that heart, and now all you really can do is rest. Come into a deep sense of peace, calm, quietude, trust, and recognize that you are recalibrating so much in those still moments. So whether the rest for you is meditation, walks in nature, actual sleep, as long as there is a sense, remember this is a mind card, as long as there is a sense of being able to shut off the monkey mind, the excess of anxieties and fears, really, that's where they're coming from, and drop into your body, drop into your heart, and start to do some healing and recalibration so that you can reboot. And that Leo really gives us the permission to be indulgent. Indulge in a lazy, and it's on Sunday, so indulge in a lazy Sunday, doing only what nourishes you, feeds your heart, and makes you feel good. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for watching and following, liking, subscribing to all of my social media spaces, and I look forward to sharing with you as I go.